Welcome into the vlog here, Thursday edition of Culotta and the Prince, recapping today's show. Killer show today. Andy Cannizaro, LSU hitting coach and recruiting coordinator, stopped by in the 7 o'clock hour. Gave a little bit of insight of heading back to Tulane. Cannizaro is widely considered to be one of the best baseball players to run through that program. Played pro ball, now is over here in the LSU dugout serving as the hitting coach, and they're smashing the baseball right now. 43 hits over the weekend versus Arkansas, 19 hits the other night versus Tulane. How much influence does Cannizaro deserve, or how much compliments does he deserve on what they're doing at the plate right now?
No, it's huge. 332 average. They're 491 slugging percentage. 299 hits on the season. All those lead the SEC. They're 14th in the SEC, dead last in the SEC in strikeouts with 108, and that's at 900 at bats, 1027 total plate appearances. This is what you're looking for in an offense. It's a team that doesn't strike out often. They put the ball in play, and when they put the ball in play and they get on base, they're aggressive on the base pass. I think those are the things that Andy Cannizaro immediately has come in and made an impact on. You know, we kind of joke with him a little bit here. It's not that he doesn't have talent. He's a very talented guy, but he was a worker. He was a grinder, and you can start to see that this team's kind of taking a little bit of that attitude because they're working pitchers. They're grinding into some of these guys. They're not striking out. They're making sure that they get a pitch that they can hit, and when they get it, they put it in play.
Man, I thought the hour with John Brady was really just kind of, it was good radio, and not so much the part of him breaking down the Sweet 16, but the middle segment there from about 8:30 to 8:45. James and I were talking off the air. I thought one of our best segments we've had since we've been on air since middle of July, where he was just kind of raw, reliving the emotion 9 years ago this weekend. It's probably one of the top 3, top 5 weekends in college basketball, LSU basketball program history, when LSU, who was a 6 seed or a 4 seed, went to Atlanta and beat the top overall seed in Duke, who had the best scorer in the country in J.J. Redick, and then turned around on Sunday and beat a Texas team that had pros dripping off the ceiling of the locker room.
Yeah, and again, to hear his vivid recollection of a lot of the details, but also when you would give him a piece of information he didn't know, and see, I realize that radio is not a visual medium, but for the two of us to see him light up when he talked about this, and to see the energy and the enthusiasm and the passion that he still has for that team and for his time at LSU. I know a lot of people look at John Brady and they think of him as, his time at LSU wasn't real. They don't look back fondly on that. You have a personal relationship to him, so you know a little bit more of the depth of what he is. But talking with him, sharing some talks with him and the experiences, you know that this guy really cares for LSU, really cares for Baton Rouge. And I think that that's something that, the 2 weeks that he's come on here with us, you see some of the humor that he has. Joking about, well, if you want to wreck your brackets, listen to old Coach Brady. Things of that sort. I think those are really good because he had a really good run here at LSU. Certainly, I know that last week he said, he would have done a few things differently, but his teams on the court, they always did things the right way, and he was very successful.
Yeah, and I think last week when we heard that point of view from Mark Gottfried, I think that kind of hammered it home to a lot of people that were on the fence or maybe critical of his time. You see what one of his peers says about the time, him coming back to Baton Rouge, looking up and seeing that 06 Final Four run. All right, Jarrell Martin makes it official yesterday. Yeah. He's officially announced that he's going to forgo the rest of his college career and going to enter the NBA draft. Widely considered to be a top 40 prospect going into this part of the process. Yeah,
so now what you're going to be paying close attention to is that he works his way into that top 30. Because in that top 30, that's a first-round pick. A first-round pick is a guaranteed contract, has some financial incentives that the second-round guys don't. Plenty more guarantees, including your contract, that the second-round guys don't have. So it'll be interesting to see how far along he can go. Look, we know this about him. He has the type of skill set that someone may fall in love with his potential. He has played at a high level in the SEC. There's no question about that. He finished the season very well, but he still is a guy who you're going to draft based upon what you think he can be eventually.
Jarrell Martin makes it official yesterday. Still waiting on word on Jordan Mickey. Johnny Jones had a really good postseason wrap-up yesterday with the press on what he's looking forward to in the offseason, going into training camp when those guys get back together next October. Remember to follow us on Twitter at 1045 ESPN. Check the Prince and I out Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. right here in the capital city's leader in sports talk, 1045, 1049 ESPN Baton Rouge.